Hey YouTube, it's Maddie the Empty Nest Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. If you're returning, I'm super glad you came back. And if you're new, I hope you enjoy the content. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up and a comment at the end of the video. So today is a session for Crafty Chat and Coffee. And I've brought my coffee. If you don't have some, go ahead and put it on pause and grab something that you want to drink. Coffee, tea, water, something stronger, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to take a sip and put this aside. And we'll have a little chat. So, what I wanted to talk about today is the different seasons of the hobby for me. There used to be a YouTuber who comes on occasionally, but she's mostly on Patreon now, RTS Scrapbooking, and she would talk about seasons. Are you in the season for shopping? Are you in the season for crafting? Are you in the season for organizing? And that really resonated with me. And the last chat I had, I was really in the season for shopping, which I am no longer in that season. And I really do not like being in that season because I have got quite enough stuff to craft with. And the season that I moved on to actually was crafting. So I'm going to give you a little look at the crafting that I've been doing, and I'm going to show you a little project share. Now, I don't know if you're like me. I'm going to be brave because I don't necessarily like everything that I've made. These are mostly completed cards, and I'm going to give you a look, and I put them in order of the ones I like the least, and then there are some that I like a little bit better. I pretty much don't love anything, but maybe I'll get better if I make more. So I'm going to give you a quick look, and these are either completely done or mostly done. So for example, this one, I did some coloring, then I did some paper piecing. This was watercolor. I did add some shine. I don't know if you can see that. It's on black cardstock, and I still have to glue on the white cardstock that I like to put inside. This one also has no signature, and I spent a lot of time on it, and I absolutely like it the very, very least. When I'm done with this little share, if you feel like you want to tell me which ones you liked, or if you decided that I should just give up this hobby and find something I'm good at, please let me know. Almost thinking that myself. This was an attempt at a shaker. Shakes a little bit, sort of gives me a headache, and not one of my favorites. Also, no signature yet. We'll see if we feel that it's good enough to share. Not sure about that. So I tried another shaker. This one I like a little bit better, a little less busy. I did some ink blending. The first one, I thought I would try embossing and inking over, and I just think it's too busy and would give people a headache. This one, on the other hand, has a little shaky bits, and I have a die cut glued on top of the window. So as a beginning shaker card maker, I don't hate that quite as much. This one, I did an embossing folder with ink blending, paper piecing, and here I have a die cut piece popped up, and then a die on top, thinking of you. So really bad at inking edges. Like, I don't know if you can see how badly that is blended around, but my theory is if I practice, I'll get better. So this one, I believe I used colored pencil. That's a Simon Hurley stamp. Really, the die cut takes over the whole card. I did embellish the inside a bit. Not sure I'm crazy about that, but people tend to do it. And finished off with a couple of sequins, and I did have the signature on the back for this one. So here was my first attempt ever at a fun fold card. So I did paper piecing on each side, die cut. This was embossed. So I stamped in colored ink and embossed like a glittery embossing powder over it. And here's where you put in your message. I will try Fun Fold again. I don't know that I love this, but I don't hate it terribly. I do also have an attempt at ink blending around the edges. My theory is keep trying. Maybe I'll get better at it. This is my second attempt at a fun fold. So this one, I folded up and I did ink blended stencil. So it came out as well as it could. I'm not sure that I love the color combination for, even though it matches, for the die cut that I used, but it was a cute concept and I might try it again. Next up, just a little hello. So here's a vote for using up your stash. And this is a background that I had in my stash for a million years. And I decided, let's just get it out. And I came up with a color combination with my inks that sort of matched whatever color that was 100 years ago. And I put a little hello sentiment and some clear little dots. So, very simple. Finish that one off. And moving on. This one, I believe I did with watercolor. And I used my scan and cut to cut out the image. Then, of course, this is a die cut with a shadow. And again, those clear Trinity Stamps embellishments, which I really like quite a bit. This one was super simple because I used patterned paper, a die cut. I popped up a cinnamon strip, and I also backed it up with a similar color to match, so that's sort of a crafty brown, and I stamped this in crafty brown, and I embossed it as well. So I can't really take credit for that because that one, I didn't do any artwork, but I do like it. Same here. This was a scrap, so yay for using up the scraps. I just put it on black, found a die cut to complement. I did finish up the center, but there's no signature on the back. So I do have still quite a bit to do before these are ready to be put away. This one, I had ink blended scrap in my stash, or a background waiting in my stash. I think I used oxides. I do love to blend with oxides. Then one of those big sentiments, which is really fun to use. And the background I cut out with a little lacy dye. Very simple, but it's cute, I think. And that does have a signature on the back. Okay. This one is a pretty cool die. This is, I just cut this out in white cardstock. Ink blended the back to match this little butterfly. I stamped the thank you and embossed it with, I stamped it clear and I embossed it in white embossing powder. And if you can see, I also did clouds in the background, ink blended. This was a scrap that I had of just some watercolor I had mixed together, and I just punched out a stamp there. So there you go. Same scrap for this one. I do like the way this came out. So same scrap for these butterflies. All came from that same piece of paper I had mixed some watercolor on. This is a 3D embossing folder. It came with my Gemini, and this is the very first time I used it, and I've got the Gemini like 2 years already, I think. Very simple die cut, and I ink blended these two with oxide ink. So they pretty much match flawlessly, and it close enough to the butterflies. Very similar. This was ink blended embossing folder I used, and same thing, I inked up the sentiment die cut and the trim around. Found a little birthday cupcake to I think that's a Dollar Tree sticker, and it's popped up. And I cut out these balloons, added some twine, and I inked up these balloons in the same color that I used in the background. Okay, last but not least, these two are pretty much the same. This is my try at Cards for Men. So I have two sons, and the birthday cards I make always have flowers all over them. This is not pattern paper. I used a Simon Hurley stamp, and it's stripy, and I stamped it one way, then the other to make a lovely plaid. I know he just came out with a different stripe that makes a different kind of a plaid, but I do like the way this came out, and I did finish these off on the back. So, season is over for shopping. Season is here for crafting. Next up will probably be some reorganizing, and maybe you'll see some of that coming up on the channel soon. So I hope you enjoyed the content. Let me know if you have seasons, if you do shopping and organizing and crafting at all different spurts. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, leave a comment down below, and a thumbs up. And above all, everybody, stay safe. Bye-bye, YouTube.